your name?
I'm Rick.
Rick. What brought you out here today?
Well, there's people whose lands are being traded in these climate deals that don't have much say in it.
What is your impression of Governor Brown right now?
Well, I think that people assume we have to work within the capitalist framework, and they're trying to make solutions within that, and I think it's a hard thing. That it just points to the contradictions of capitalism. We need more democratic control of the economy and new investment and infrastructure.
Okay. And if there's any one thing you wanted to communicate today, what would that be?
That we're in a global crisis and that we need bigger solutions than just market reform.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day. Hi, what's your name?
I'm Adrienne Titus. I'm from Unalakleet, Alaska, but I come by way of Fairbanks. I work with Native Movement as a community organizer.
Oh, great, great. So what brought you out here today?
We came out to march for climate justice, social justice. We want to defend the sacred Mother Earth for everybody.
Great. Could I ask your impressions of Governor Brown today?
He presents false climate solutions and false propaganda for the people of Turtle Island, and we're here today to say no, we don't accept those false climate solutions.
Okay. And if there's any one thing you wanted to communicate today, what would that be?
That the people all over the world have gathered to defend the sacred and to come together in unity to project our voices as one and let Jerry Brown and all of his friends know that we will not back down.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
Samuel Johns.
And what brought you out here today?
Just coming down here to, create, to help, be a part of this solidarity and, to show our support from Alaska and also create awareness on some of the stuff that's happening in Alaska right now too.
And what would be your impression of Governor Jerry Brown today?
I don't think too much about Jerry Brown.
Okay. And if there was one thing you wanted to communicate today, what would that be?
To be real and not tax, the air, try to create systematic change, not pale water to make some money, They might not see it like that, but that's the way the rest of the people do see it. Paling water doesn't do anything. Paling water isn't a solution. So creating systematic change, finding ways to actually, stop some of the stuff that we're doing that, will help. Not just taxing the carbon and all that, man. It's crazy that they're trying to make a quick buck off that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mom, thank you very much.
Okay, my name's Ella.
Hi. And are you here for the climate group, or are you just at the summit? Or?
Yeah, for the summit.
Okay. And what's your main focus right now with the summit?
Right in this moment, just listening to all these different voices. I think this is such a complicated, rich moment. And so I'm trying to feel in my heart all of the good fights that so many different perspectives are trying to engage in.
And what's your impression today of Governor Brown?
I think that he's making a big statement against Trump by hosting this international community and getting cities and states to bypass the national government. And I think he's making tough political decisions that might be taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back in some ways. And that's what I'm learning is what progress is about.
Okay, last question. If there was one thing you wanted to communicate today, what would that be?
For all of us to be tender enough to listen to each other.
Okay, thank you so much for your... hi, what's your name?
Martha Hawthorne.
Hi, and what brought you out here today?
I'm a union member, SEIU 10 to 1, and our future is in renewables. Our future depends on standing up to fossil fuels. And when I say future, I mean tomorrow. I don't mean my grandchildren are going to have a hard enough time. It's us, those of us who are union workers, those of us who are having a hard time with all of our lives in facing the crisis in affordability, the insanely obscene salaries of CEOs, while our union members continue to struggle paycheck to paycheck. And it's all related to corporate greed and the fossil fuel industry. That is who corrupts our democracy, dirties our water, and makes our air unbreathable. I'm here because I think labor and all of our rank and file and elected leadership needs to come together to get off of fossil fuels and into something that is better. It's not that hard. We just need the political will and the courage. We need the courage.
Very good.
I'm there speaking for labor.
Okay.
I'm here today.
What are your impressions of Governor Jerry Brown today?
Terrible. Terrible. He says he's a leader in fighting global warming, and yet he allows people to be poisoned in their own backyards by wells that emit horrible chemicals. And this is not in affluent San Francisco. These are in places where people don't have a voice and are sick. We in the Bay Area get bad air, but it's nothing compared to the Central Valley in Southern California, where Governor Jerry Brown ignores the communities that want simple things like a setback of 2,500 feet. It's not that hard. And Jerry Brown says he is a leader, but California remains a huge producer of oil and gas. We're not a leader. So he needs to be called on this. He has a few more months. He could do the right thing. We'll see if he does. And then it will be on our next governor and our next leaders. This has got to be an issue in November because it is urgent.
Very good. Just last question. If there was one thing you wanted to communicate today, what would that be?
Hope, and it's really hard. It's really hard. Hope. Hope that we won't accept this, and hope that it will change. Hope for us.
Very good. Hi, what's your first name?
Patrick.
And what brought you out here today?
To help.
Okay. And do you know about Governor Jerry Brown? What's your impression of him? Okay. And if there was one thing that if you could communicate to everybody here, what would that be?
To help.
Thank you. And what's your name?
My name is Steven.
And what brought you out here today?
I'm volunteering for this event, for the Global Climate Action Summit.
Great. And are you aware of what the protest here is about?
Yeah, it seems that they are fighting, saying no more money from dirty energy.
Okay. And what's your impression today of Governor Jerry Brown?
I think that there are definitely some valid criticisms of the way he's approached environmentalism and clean energy and still accepting money from oil and stuff like that, but I think that he's making a lot of progress in a way that no other governor in the United States is doing. Like California is a national leader in solar and wind, like policy, business, and it's making a lot of money, but it's also making green jobs. It's actually one of the largest. Solar energy is one of the largest growing jobs right now in California. So, I mean, I think I'm a supporter of Jerry Brown because I think that he's taking a stance, and he's not doing 100% of what people want from him, but I think he's realistically with what limitations are, he's doing a great job.
Okay, and if there was one thing you'd like to communicate to everyone here, what would that be?
Progress takes compromise.
My name is Shannon.
And what brought you out here today?
I'm here with the Global Covenant of Mayors.
Okay, and are you aware of what this protest is about?
No, I'm not.
Okay, and what's your impression of Governor Jerry Brown?
Do you want my flag?
I'm not from the state of California.
Do you have any impression of him?
No, not right now, I don't.
Okay, and if there was one thing that you'd like to communicate to everybody here, what would that be?
The climate change is really important and we all need to work together to address it.
Very good, thank you so much. And what's your name?
My name's Stuart Ragaluth.
And what brought you here today?
I came over from Belgium because we work on sustainability issues, and I had seen Governor Brown speak at last year's COP23 in Bonn, so I was motivated by that to join the movement towards climate action, essentially.
Great. And what is your impression of Governor Jerry Brown today?
I couldn't comment on that.
All right.
I just haven't seen him in action today.
Okay, at this moment.
In general, from what I've seen, very proactive, fighter, go-getter. I call him a rocker.
All righty. And are you aware of what this protest is about?
I am not entirely.
Okay.
To be honest, I just arrived from Belgium. I feel like I landed on another planet. But I'm happy to see the movement of people. I think it's wonderful.
Very good.
I think it's great.
Last question. If there's one thing that you'd like to communicate to everyone, what would that be?
I would say everyone has a role to play. Everyone can do something. Not wait. No waiting.
Okay. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Alexandra Nagy. I'm an organizer with Food and Water Watch. I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm out here because Governor Brown has failed to act on fossil fuel-related issues like oil drilling. He's expanded drilling by 21,000 new wells in California since taking office. He's taken over $10 million from the oil and gas industry, so I'm here to call on him to use his last moment in office to end new oil and gas permits to shut those wells down. Also, my community was impacted by the Aliso Canyon gas flood that happened a couple of years ago. My family got sick. I got really sick. So we need that facility closed down too. So I'm here representing the 25,000 and more people who were relocated from their homes during that huge disaster, big climate disaster. So, I mean, he wants to get away with being a green climate leader, but he can't be until he does those things of ending drilling and shutting down Aliso Canyon. So that's why I'm here.
Great. If there was one thing that you'd like to communicate to folks today, what would that be?
That we have to take a stand, we have to get to the streets and make our voice heard on climate, and if we don't do it, then we're all screwed, pretty much. So get involved, volunteer, any organization. There's battles going on in every city, every county, every state around new oil and gas permits, new fossil fuel infrastructure that we have to fight from coming on board now, and then we have to shut down everything that's existing today. So.
Hi, what's your name?
My name is Glenn Cobb.
And what brought you out here today?
Well, I'm out here to support the protest on a better climate. I think that if we don't do anything about the direction the administration is going in, there's not going to be anything left for our kids and their kids and their kids. So I'm going to try and do what I can to make sure that this planet is still in a shape for the people that's going to follow me. And I stand on the shoulders of so many people who fought for this clean air, this planet. So I'm just trying to do my part.
Thank you. And what is your impression of Governor Jerry Brown today?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't have a lot to say about the Governor Brown. I hope that he does the right thing and try to make sure that the fossil fuels are not going to continue to poison this planet. And I hope that he stopped the neighborhood drilling. So I hope that he does the right thing, and because this is not just for him and people like myself, but the people that's following.
Last question, if there was one thing that you'd like to communicate to folks today, what would that be?
Stay the course, continue to protest, because if we don't do it now, then when? And if it's not us, then who?
So what's your name?
My name is Cesar Aguirre. I'm a community organizer from Kern.
Great. And what brought you out here today?
I work for the Central California Environmental Justice Network, and we're from the #1 oil-producing county in all of California. And in Kern we have one giant city. It's not giant compared to San Francisco. It's 300,000 people, Bakersfield, but we're 10 Delawares, so we have a lot of rural communities that are 1 hour away, half an hour away, and they're underserved and they're overburdened. So that's why we're here to make sure that those communities have a voice not only at a regional level, but at a state level, because they need the protections that they're not getting from their local politics.
Great. And what is your impression of Governor Jerry Brown today?
I know Jerry Brown likes to likes to grandstand and say that he's part of a movement and make decisions here and there that, you know, create this facade. But when it comes to the people in Kern, when it comes to the fence line communities that suffer from this, when it comes to the 3/4 of new oil wells being produced in underprivileged or black and brown communities, those are the people that we're representing, right? Because for those people, he hasn't done enough, right? Those people are still suffering from asthma, from cancer, from COPD, premature birth rates. Those are the people that we want to, that have a negative impression of Jerry Brown, that we need more action from him on this. It's because of those people.
Great. And if there was one thing that you'd like to communicate to folks today, what would that be?
Join us. Join us, become part of the movement, stay active, stay vigilant.
Were you here for the protest?
No, I wasn't specifically here.
Okay.
This is hard.
Do you understand at all about what the protest is about?
I do.
What would that be?
Fighting climate change.
What's your name?
Chloe.
And why are you here today?
I'm actually an undergraduate student doing research on climate change and Jerry Brown and the law he's passing, so.
Great. And are you aware of what the protest is about?
Yes.
And what's your impression of that?
I think it's really powerful that we're all standing together to fight against drilling and fracking and everything, so I am aware, but I'm also learning more at the same time. I wasn't aware coming into it, so I feel enlightened now.
And what's your impression today of Governor Jerry Brown?
Mixed. I'd rather not disclose.
Okay. And last question. If there was one thing that you'd like to communicate to folks today, what would that be?
That united together we can defeat anything, and I really think it's a powerful movement what they're doing. I think NGOs and our government is very powerful as well, so the more that we can get together and get people to stand together, the more powerful that we will be to have a chance against them.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
If I could get your name?
Sure, it's Bill McGavin.
And what brought you out here today?
Still looking for more action on climate, trying to reduce emissions as quickly as we can.
Great. And are you aware of what the protest is about?
Absolutely. It's no emissions trading, keep it in the ground.
Okay. And what's your impressions of Governor Jerry Brown today?
Well, I've been following him for a lot longer than just today, and he's been very strong on reducing emissions and not so strong on phasing out of fossil fuel production.
Okay, and if there was one thing that you personally would like to communicate to folks, what would that be?
That we need to take action across all sectors to reduce pollution as quickly as possible.
Very good, thank you so much. Could I get you all's names?
Yes, my name is T. Nathan Fairley.
My name is Reginald Virgil.
And we are family.
Great, and what brought you out here today?
What brought us out here today was we need to show our support of all people of color when it comes to fighting the corporate monster that is causing climate change and the greed that is fostering upon people of color the detrimental effects of climate change as an underserved community.
And doing that today, we showing the numbers to the masses. We're from Mississippi, so coming all the way from Mississippi to take observance and notice of what they're doing, how it impacts not only the state, but the people who come here as well, the people who attend, so we can bring something back home to our state, so we can bring about change, because change is needed. It's not needed just in San Francisco, just in California, Nevada, or New Mexico. It's needed in every state. Change is needed. So that's what we're here for today, is to observe, notice, and network and connect and bring change back home.
Right, and there are very few people that look like us that are invited to these conferences. So we have to say that if the conference won't come to us, we'll come to the conference, and we will sit and talk until our voices are heard.
You look behind here, you see this infrastructure of this building where Jerry Brown, the governor, is in, and delegates from across the world attend. They have a seat at the table, like my uncle was saying. But people out here in the streets, they're not at the table, and they're the ones who are they're the ones mainly affected by the climate decisions that are made, that have been made. and their input has not been taken into consideration for years, decades, centuries, even the time of colonialization. So now people have had enough. So it's time to take action. So,
and this is what activism requires. It requires action. So we are providing the action for activism. All right, thank you.
All right, maybe a couple more quick questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your impression of Governor Jerry Brown today?
My impression of the governor is that I believe that the government wants to do something about climate change. But I think he needs to invite the people that can talk about how it's most affecting their community. Because it's not just climate change, it's the engines that are causing climate change that we need to discuss. And that's what's not being discussed. Carbon trading is not discussing climate change because it's still going to affect the planet. So we need to get to the point where we say we need to talk about the mechanisms that are in place that drive climate change and how do we control and negate those mechanisms, and that's what the discussion needs to be about.
So Governor Jerry Brown, he's in a hot seat right now. He's been in a hot seat for quite some time, and now is the time to make decisions not based off of what favors him. You know, if he wants to make a difference and he wants to make that change, then it's time to stop wanting and just do it. So he's in that position and he has that power to do what needs to be done for the good. And now it's time to do it.
And if he really wants to be a proponent of climate change and the solutions to climate change, like my nephew said, this is not just a California problem. I wish that one state could make a law and climate change around the world would be eliminated, but it's not. We need spokesmen that are at the table, and since it's his table, be a proponent of it and listen to the people that are most impacted by the decisions that he has made.
Oh, they will bring their own table, as you see today.
Yeah.
You probably answered it, but one last question. If there was one thing that you wanted to communicate to folks today, what would that be?
Unity.
Yes, unity, and everyone is included. Your problem is my problem. My problem is your problem.
Or it should be.
We are the oppressed class. We are the oppressed class, and it's time that, like Uncle said, unity, to embrace it and to come together as a community, as a whole, as one. And we can't bicker over our differences because we're all people of color. We can't divide ourselves for what makes us different, but we bring each other together by what problems we face. We may have different perspectives, but we all have the same enemy, and we all face problems that keep us apart.
What's your name?
I'm Stu Plock.
And what brought you out here today?
I brought out because Governor Brown, he's been doing a pretty good job on the renewable side of energy, but on the oil side, keeping it in the ground, he's been terrible. And we just want to let people to know that this event is not all roses. It's a lot of good things are happening. The governor is doing it. But the fact of the matter is he still takes money from the oil industry. He keeps exploration going. Fracking is still going on in our state. So he's got a lot more to do. That's my main reason for coming.
Okay. What's your impression of Governor Jerry Brown today?
I think what he's done is fantastic myself, that he's gotten all these people together and they're going to do good things. We're trying to give them the message, though, that just to do the let's move to renewables is not enough. And so I'm hoping that he gets the message that we want him to take action in other countries to stop the oil companies. That's basically it. Yeah.
Okay, and last question.
Oh.
If there was one thing that you'd like to communicate to folks today, what would that be?
Get involved in this movement because it's going to take everybody. People have been yelling at us this morning, why are you doing this? Everybody's got to get involved in this thing. And we're going to send to our government that we're going to turn this thing around. But it has to be done faster, or the earth isn't going to be able to handle it.
Hi, could I get your name?
Well, my name is Eagle Thunder, E.T. So I'm with the American Indian Movement West, so it's one of the organizations here in San Francisco. I've been in some books like Lakota Woman and Crow Dogs. This is where we went to Washington, D.C. in 1972. We took over the Bureau of Indian Affairs office, and back then and stuff, they got me, some pictures with Leonard Crow Dog. Leonard Crow Dog was a spiritual medicine man for the American Indian movement, So the American Indian movement ain't too big here in San Francisco. Just only about 10 of us really that want to be considered as being Native Americans. So
what brought you out here specifically today?
I've been with this here conference here thinking about immigration mostly. So this was once Mexico till 1850. 1850 it became part of the United States where they took over. And then Donald Trump says that Mexicans are all immigrants, so this is wrong and stuff, so this is all Mexico right here and stuff, so they got to look at it from a different point of view and stuff, because they use this here land for vegetation and fruits like apples, oranges, all this vegetation and stuff, and so just what it done and stuff, is they've taken this land and just, so Native Americans there's some Native Americans here, the Pomos, Monos, and the Indians here, but I seen this one person, he says that he didn't like Mexicans too good, and I said, ain't you Mexican too? And he goes, well, California was once Mexico, isn't it? So he says, oh, why? Okay, and he thought about it for about a week, and he says, oh, you're right, okay. So this is the way they look at it, so I'm here for this summit meeting here about climate change, and we had a Uipi ceremony in which contact with the spirit world and stuff, there's a lot of healing for a lot of people and stuff, that, suffer arthritis and heart problems and sugar diabetes and everything else, they have ways to overcome these diseases and stuff, and medicines like the bitterroot and sage and other herbs that are from this Mother Earth and stuff, and we have here Mother Earth stuff, that provides us with water and food and the air we breathe, so the pollution to the air is getting bad and stuff, and there's some lakes here in California, like a lake down there by Sacramento is getting so polluted that there's no swimming in the water no more. And the oceans here are just pretty well polluted too, so need people to go down there and clean up the beaches and stuff, and do a lot of cleaning up in a lot of areas and stuff, and changing a lot of things, so I'm with the from Pine Ridge, South Dakota, so I suffered alcoholism back there, so I come to California to not be around my friends and stuff, so my lifestyle has changed since I quit drinking and doing drugs and stuff, So I find that marijuana is legal, but it's just that good for some people when they get too much stuff, then they want more, just like alcohol problem, so
Okay, if I could ask you, what's your impression of Governor Jerry Brown right at the moment?
He claims, about changing a lot of things, like global warming, and stuff. But it's just that he don't really have the power. It's to the people. They gotta do it all as one, Be like not to pollute this and do the damage, burn the chemicals that are in the air and stuff, and we breathe this air and stuff, but is it pure? It's not. They got all kinds of gases that come from down below, drill oil, something, and so these things have got to be taken care of,
Okay, last question.
Yeah.
If there was one thing that you'd like to communicate to folks today, what would that be?
I would like to say, several people here that don't know that I'm really with the American Indian Movement West. Here, real Native American, but it's that a lot of people don't know that. So it's the way I live with people, so communicate with this person, that person, and not really let them know. I own land in Pine Ridge, but there was the Corval versus Salazar lawsuit went through, the largest lawsuit in the United States, and so they contributed me. I got a small amount of land there in Pine Ridge, so they offered me $23,000 for my land and stuff. But I also own land on the Rosebud Reservation and the Sandy Rock Reservation too, you know. So, and these reservations are gonna offer me money, but only one that went through is Pine Ridge, so it's a large amount of money. So.
What brought you out here today?
We're here standing in solidarity with all of our brothers and sisters, and also to honor and respect this Ohlone territory for the local Bay Area natives. We're trying to mitigate all these false solutions that are being proposed by Governor Jerry Brown's council and offer our own alternative healing solutions from native communities and be able to amplify those voices. And really, we've got over 40 different tribal delegations here from 40 different First Nations. We have over a dozen different representatives from different countries, all the way from the Amazon, New Zealand, China, Puerto Rico, Hawaii, all the Polynesian islands. So we're just bringing all our brothers and sisters here just to be able to give a voice to that cause, and hopefully through that momentum we're trying to overturn what they're trying to implement with carbon offsets. And one of the imperative themes that we're going by is keep it in the ground, and corporations are not more valuable than communities. You know, we're built on communities of indigenous people who all help one another. Like, the resource amongst ourselves is one of our most valuable resources, and we're trying to also sustainably reinvigorate all of our ecosystems because of the toll that a lot of these extractive, fuel industries have taken, and the implications of that are so far-reaching that right now this is kind of like a pivotal moment in history that we can change the turn of the tide and be able to get the momentum rolling forward for all of us indigenous folks. And then here we have two Cherokee brothers from North Carolina. They're out here standing in solidarity with us, and yeah, they've been really great. They're supporting. I'd like them to add to that and give some feedback.
Yeah. Okay, so we're here basically. We're here to stand with everyone who wants to be free. We're here to stand with the people who have spent so many years oppressed. So many people have been spending most of their lives working effortlessly day and night for a bigger person, when the same energy could be put towards themselves to better our own people and our own communities. And we're trying to spread that knowledge to everyone. And a lot of ignorance is what really breaks this line between people who want to make a change and then those who are trying to make profit. And that's what would really bring down and break everything down, is that we are here for our solutions, the people's solutions, the people who will feel the effect of the decisions made at this summit. We are here to fight for those people, not just ourselves.
Okay, next question is, what's your impression of Governor Jerry Brown, like today, right at the moment?
Well, according to the legal aspect, we were told that by 2045 there's already been an agreement that's been ratified amongst him and his panel to decrease carbon emissions. However, we've reviewed and examined this legislature amongst our indigenous delegation and with our elders, and we found that there is literature about carbon offsets. So really what we're trying to do is show that a lot of their solutions are indeed false, and that what they're really trying to do is it's kind of a gimmick. They're trying to pay off, like they want to sequester, Governor Brown's Forest Task Reserve wants to sequester sacred land from our Amazonian brothers and sisters, the Sariaku. And we have a representative, Marlon Santi, and a chief Ninawan, who's here standing up for the indigenous Amazonians to preserve what little land they have left. So, this is it all ties in together with our preservation of our lands And obviously, based on Governor Jerry Brown's actions and his lack of oversight on behalf of us indigenous peoples, he's demonstrated to us that he is not trying to amplify our cause. And so that's why we come here peacefully. We come here to voice that truth. And also, I wanted to mention that right now there's going to be a Category 5 hurricane headed here for these brothers' territory. I'm from Hawaii. Category 5 just came through our homelands and completely devastated a lot of the infrastructure. And when there's already been, tolls taken from extractive fuel sourcing. A lot of our waters have been polluted as well. As a result, all of the brown water has contaminated a lot of our agricultural systems, because we as Native peoples, we thrive off of our food sovereignty. So our food sovereignty is all about preserving the traditional ways of our growing our food, and that's our medicine. Learning how to harvest. So here with this political activism, that's another form of our medicine that we're trying to bring to the people, and hopefully bring to Governor Jerry Brown and his people. We come here peacefully. We're not here to antagonize. We're not here to bring negative energy. We're here to bring healing and understanding, because those are the communities, those are the values that we share as indigenous people, as Native people. And so we come with this message that is extremely a pressing matter, and we're trying to urge to Governor Jerry Brown and his entire panel in the Forest Task Reserve, to really reconsider the ramifications of their decisions, because this is not only going to affect us indigenous people, this is going to affect everyone. We all share this sacred earth.
And it's about getting over that color border with one another and realizing that we're all human beings that need the same basic needs for life, which is clean water, clean air, and clean food. And that's what this is all about, is making sure that everyone has the same equal shot at a good life that everyone deserves.
Okay, last question. Just kind of briefly, if there was one thing you wanted to communicate to folks here today, what would that be?
One single thing to communicate? There's so many things I could go over. That's what I'm saying. A single thing, it seems just
what's the main point? You're in an elevator with Jerry Brown or whoever. What would be your pitch?
The main point, I would say, and I feel like this speaks for all of us, is that we need to really consider, how much we have left in terms of these finite resources, and consider our carbon footprint, and consider, how we're treating one another. Because I feel like this is all stems from a mistreatment and a lack of understanding. So really, just to love one another and have that love and understanding rooted in, the finalization of all of our causes, and that Governor Jerry Brown knows that, our grandmothers, our elders, all the things they fought for. We're here as youth standing up for their voices, maybe because they couldn't be here. And so to just realize that we all come from families, and to know that you're affecting families at a very, a community-based level. So with all these people from all different walks of life, all of them come from some sort of oppression or some sort of, need. Everyone here comes from a center of need, a need for the communities to be united, or a need for their voices, their causes to be heard. And so just to emphasize that to him and his panel, that we can maybe have empathy for our cause. It seems like there's a lack of empathy, because they want to politicize everything, and they want to kind of almost cut off that human connection. And that human connection is why we all are here together. And so we appreciate just the opportunity to be here, and thank you.
Just coming together, common people with common goals, setting forth and trying to make a positive change into the world, whatever that may be.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.